Hey guys, so what we're doing here is we're removing the stock air cleaner, which came off really easy. Just 2 breather bolts here and then 3 bolts holding that. Just pop right off, piece of cake. And we're going to be putting on the Screamin Eagle air cleaner kit. Let's get on it. Alright, so what we got here is the plate up, and there are 2 gaskets, one round one here, one round one here, and they come on a backer piece of paper you just pull off and they stick right on the back. There's a gasket right here that just fits in and held on with these 3 bolts, and then the 2 breather bolts will be installed now. And they're called breather bolts because they look like that. Okay, so right now I've got the 2 breather bolts snugged, and I've got these 3 as well. These do need to be torqued correctly, and I'm a big one for following the instructions. You know, if they don't work, then you figure it out yourself. But these are the instructions that come with this kit. It says here Screamin Eagle Ventilator Performance Air Kit, and there are torque settings here. So the breather bolts are 120 to 144 inch-pounds, and the other bolts, bear with me a second, I'll turn the page, and these are the 3 air cleaner studs. That's those, and the torque settings are 55 to 60 inch-pounds. And we'll do that and we'll continue. Okay, so what I've done is I've set mine to 124. So just to recap, it said 122 to 144, I believe. So I'm going with 124, so it's just over the minimum level, and we'll snug that up. I can't do it, I have to set the phone down, sorry about that. Right, so there we go, 57, this is the last bolt. There you go, 57. Move on to the next bit. All right, the next part is there's a plate here that goes on here. It's an adapter plate. There's a notch at the top, and that will align these holes up. There's these 3 short torque screws. It says hex screws in the instructions, but they're actually torque screws. Minor thing. And they are, again, 55 to 60 inch-pounds, and I've set it at 57. And I've done 2 up already, and we'll do 1 more. So far, this is how it looks. Now, one thing to point out is you have these breather tubes. Now, it doesn't actually tell you in the instructions to push these in. I mean, yeah, all right, it's obvious, of course. But if you're following this and you've never done this before, you might get to a point where you put the cover on and realize you don't have the breather tubes in. So just look out for that. Just put them in. As soon as you've got the plate on here, just push those breather tubes right in. They're just rubber and they're pressed right in, and then they sit behind the plate into the intake there. All right, now we're ready for the cover. Okay, so the next mission is to install the cleaner element. That just goes on like that, and you'll see the 3 holes are lined up, and you've got the writing and the Harley logo oriented correctly. And we'll put the screws in. Alright, so the air cleaner element is on. There are 3 screws there, and as before, they are 55 to 60 inch-pounds. And I'm going to do this last one here. Right, now that that's done, we've come to the fun part, and that is installing those nice shiny covers. Let's get to it. Okay, so now to mount the air cleaner cover, you're going to use the same bolt that you took off from your stock air cleaner, and it says OE, which is original equipment, in the instructions. So when you take this apart, retain this bolt. You will need it, and it says to put a dabber Loctite on it. Right, so 55 inch-pounds. That's very thin, so I was taking it a little easy there. All right, so that's done. Okay, well there she is, all installed. Worth noting that these two small screws did come pre-treated with blue Loctite, and I've been using blue Loctite on all of the screws that came with it, just because it says so in the instructions. Even though they are pre-coated, there's some pre-coated with red and some with white. I just put a dab of blue on there anyway, it wouldn't hurt. So there it is. Now, one final piece. I always say that, don't I? This comes with a rain sock, like that. And they recommend putting that on if you're riding in heavy rain or it's sitting, just because that can affect the mixture with the water getting in there, the moisture. So I'm just going to pop this on just for looks, and I'll show you. There you go. There's the cover, or the rain sock as it's called. Nice and tight as you'd expect. That would definitely stay on while you were riding, because it folds behind here and it is pulling tight. So I'd be perfectly confident riding with that on. Right, well now that the project's done, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about how we got to this point. Well, recently we installed these tab slip-ons, and we knew that there'd be some popping. We tried medium baffles, we tried quiet baffles. We kind of found the quiet baffle was the nicest tone for us. So we went and talked to Harley Davidson and said, you know, what's available for tuners to smooth out some of that popping and maybe boost the performance a little bit. So after a good conversation with Ian at Wisconsin Harley Davidson, we bought the Screamin Eagle air cleaner here, and I said I'd put that on myself to save a little bit of labor. And then 29th of April, we're taking the bike over there, and they're going to keep it for a couple of days. They're going to do a full tune with the tuner we're buying, and then they're going to put it on a dyno as well. A little bit expensive, but hey, it's Harley Davidson. But I tell you what, you get the job done right. I'm not a mechanic, so it's not something I would want to have a crack at, and I'd rather have it done properly. And we both agreed that it's worth spending the money to have it done right. So anyway, we will update you on how that goes. It's just a couple of weeks out yet. That'll be the subject for another video, really just sort of a recap of the work that was done. And we'll share the experience with you with Wisconsin Harley Davidson. We like them guys. We've got friendly with them. We bought a few things, and we'll see how this works out. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.